The Lisbon Summit is a critical milestone in the international community's commitment to Afghanistan. This is the first opportunity since April 2009 for heads of state from over 40 nations to assess progress to date and reaffirm the strategy of our enduring commitment to the success in Afghanistan. The Lisbon Summit is not a pledging summit or a forced generation summit. It is not about money, it is not about more money, it is not about more troops. Concerning Afghanistan, the priorities of the Lisbon Summit can be summarized in 3 words: trainers, transition, and long-term partnership. For now, ISAF will continue to lead much of the security effort. However, with the growing potential of Afghanistan's own forces, more trainers will allow NATO to focus on what will become our main effort of developing the Afghan national security forces, so the Afghan government can take ever-increasing responsibility for the security of the country. The development of capable, professional Afghan national security forces is fundamental to the transition of lead security responsibility to the government of Afghanistan by 2014. The timeframe expressed by President Karzai at the London conference for when Afghan forces would have the lead for ensuring security in all 34 provinces. At Lisbon, the process for transition will be announced, and it is expected to begin in early 2011, with the aim to be countrywide by 2014, and as conditions allow. Now, no one doubts the challenge, but now, and for the first time really, we have the resources and the strategy to succeed, and within a realistic time frame. However, we must all still show the patience that will allow the strategy to bear fruit. So, let me be very clear. Transition is not withdrawal. Transition is part of the evolving relationship between the government of Afghanistan, NATO, troop-contributing nations, and the wider international community. As the Afghan government can do more, then our role will change, but not end. Finally, the Lisbon Summit will be about long-term partnership, a partnership that builds on the shared goals of both the government of Afghanistan and NATO to bring security to Afghanistan, this region, and the international community. Thank you. And with that, we can take your questions. Thank you for your question. Well, as I said, one of the goals of the Lisbon Summit is around trainers and the need for trainers to continue developing the Afghan national security forces. Currently, we do have trainers in country, of course. The number I do not have immediately to hand. And the number we do need is increasing as the size of the security force increases. With the increased capabilities of the Afghan forces, they need to be trained in specific capacities, which of course requires very specialist training. We will achieve the number of trainers we need because it's in the benefit of NATO and its Afghan partners. And it's just a natural transition of our role here in supporting the government of Afghanistan. So there is no doubt that we will have the requisite number of trainers required to help develop the Afghan security forces.
Good.
First of all, I can tell you all assuredly that when ISAF and forces with the Afghan National Army perform any operation and arrest anyone, they do so within all the guidelines that govern their behavior in this country and as a professional force. And I know General Blotz can go into more detail about that as a soldier himself and speak to the issue around how the soldiers were treated.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me expand on that briefly. These allegations are completely wrong and unsubstantiated. Let me tell that to everybody right up front. I mean, it's not uncommon that journalists do have contacts with, any groups of people, particularly in a country under wartime conditions like Afghanistan, in the conflict, in other words. But the intelligence provided to us, they indicated a degree of complicity between the reporters and the insurgents that simply warranted their detention. So we absolutely felt safe and legitimate to do so, first of all. Secondly, these allegations, to reiterate that again, are wrong. And thirdly, I can tell you that only a couple of days ago, the Director Strategic Communication in headquarters ISAF, Admiral Smith, had a very in-depth discussion with the Al Jazeera bureau chief here in Kabul, Mr. Sameh Alawi, and they discussed very openly the intelligence provided to us. And Mr. Alawi actually admitted that there is room for improvement, let me put it this way, and even the possibility to train and educate his personnel in order to avoid difficulties we have just seen. So, and again, in my last point, as I said, in my opening remarks, not only the reporters, but the entire environment in their houses and in the vicinity and neighborhood has been done according to international law. And this I'm absolutely sure of. Secondly, you're asking for the significance of the Operation Dragon Strike. First of all, I've said that on various occasions, the Operation Hamkari, or let me say, the entire process that's going on in the province of Kandahar is Commander ISAF's top operational priority. So this is our main effort. In other words, this is the most significant military operation ongoing in Afghanistan. But it is much more than just a military endeavor. Following the principles of ISAF's counterinsurgency strategy,